setups, but more confidently. He stopped overtrading. He began to wait. He noticed how the urge to trade constantly faded when he truly started to understand what he was looking for. He realized that price action could tell a complete story without needing a single indicator. Eventually, he blended both styles. He used models for structure and planning, but relied on pattern recognition and observation for execution. The lessons he learned couldn't be found in any book. They were passed.
The air was thick with the smell of ink and fresh paper, the scent of newspapers hot off the... Money is one of the most powerful forces in our lives. It shapes our choices, directs our energy, and influences the level of freedom and opportunity we enjoy. Yet, for most people, money remains a mystery, something that comes and goes without clear reason, something controlled by outside circumstances rather than inner mastery. But wealth, like any other skill, is governed by laws. Just as physics explains how objects move and chemistry explains how elements combine, there is a science to money that determines how it flows, grows, and multiplies in the hands of those who understand it. Wealth is not an accident. It is not the result of luck or chance or even sheer hard work. It is the product of applied principles, laws that are as predictable and dependable as gravity. When you learn these laws, when you discipline yourself to follow them, you step into alignment with forces that make success inevitable. The question is not whether you can become wealthy, but whether you are willing to learn and apply the principles that govern wealth creation. The first truth is that money is a measure of value. In a world of exchange, money is simply the yardstick by which people trade time, effort, knowledge, and resources. Every dollar you receive is a certificate of value delivered to someone else. If you want to increase the flow of money into your life, you must increase the value of what you offer. That value can come in the form of specialized skills, unique knowledge, creative problem solving, or simply the ability to serve more people in more effective ways. Money always follows value. This leads to the principle of earning capacity. Your earning ability is your greatest asset. Unlike physical possessions, which can be lost or destroyed, your skills, knowledge, and habits are internal wealth that can grow endlessly. You can lose everything in a fire, a market crash, or an economic downturn. But if you have developed high-value skills and the discipline to use them, you can rebuild, recover, and rise again. The wealthiest individuals throughout history have always understood this. Invest in yourself first, and external wealth will follow. Imagine that you are a money-making machine, and your skills, habits, and mindset are the gears that determine your output. If you want greater results, you must upgrade the machine. This means continuous learning, sharpening your talents, and training your mind to think in ways that align with wealth. The average person stops learning once school is over. The wealthy never stop. They read, they attend seminars, they learn from mentors, and they experiment until their skills become rare and indispensable. The science of money also teaches us that wealth requires clarity of goals. No one drifts into financial independence. You must know precisely how much you want to earn, how much you want to save, and how much wealth you want to accumulate. The mind functions like a guided missile. It locks onto a target and adjusts its behavior until the target is reached. But without a target, the missile spins aimlessly. The same is true of your financial life. Without specific goals, you will fall into the default pattern of working hard, paying bills, and hoping vaguely that things will improve. To harness this law, write down your financial goals in clear, measurable terms. State exactly how much you want to earn this year, how much you intend to save, and what your net worth will be 5 years from now. Then, Back these goals with action plans. What skills you will acquire, what steps you will take, what habits you will adopt. Goals turn dreams into plans, and plans into results. Wealth is deliberate. But even with goals, there is another truth to face. Wealth creation requires discipline. The average person spends whatever they earn. If they get a raise, they simply upgrade their lifestyle, a bigger car, a larger home, more expensive entertainment. This is the trap of lifestyle inflation. The wealthy, however, live by a different law. Save and invest before you spend. They treat savings as a bill that must be paid, a non-negotiable expense to their future self. No matter how much they earn, they set aside a portion, invest it wisely, and allow the magic of compounding to multiply it over time. Compounding is one of the greatest forces in the science of money. A single dollar saved and invested can turn into 5, 10, or 50 over the years. But the opposite is also true. A single dollar wasted, a single debt incurred, can multiply into chains that enslave you for decades. The direction of compounding, whether upward into wealth or downward into poverty, is determined by your daily habits of money management. The science of money also reveals the role of mindset. Your beliefs about wealth determine your relationship with it. Many people grow up with unconscious conditioning that wealth is selfish, that money is evil, or that rich people are greedy. These beliefs act like mental blocks that repel wealth even when opportunities present themselves. To become wealthy, you must change your beliefs. You must see money as a tool for good, a resource that can expand freedom, help others, and create opportunities. The wealthiest people are often those who see money not as an end in itself, but as a servant to their vision, their family, their community, and their purpose. Another law is the law of responsibility. Wealth does not come to those who blame circumstances, complain about
We look
luck,
to
or
add this
wait for
trade as well.
external rescue. It comes to those who accept full responsibility for their financial lives. No matter where you start, no matter what setbacks you face, you must say, I am responsible. This mindset shifts you from victimhood to power. If you are responsible, then you are also capable of changing, learning, and rising. And once you assume responsibility, the universe begins to open doors that were previously invisible. But responsibility alone is not enough. Action is required. Wealth grows from consistent, persistent effort, applied daily, even in small amounts. The discipline of setting aside money every week, the discipline of reading an hour each day, the discipline of tracking your spending and adjusting your budget. These small actions accumulate like drops of water filling a reservoir. Over time, they become unstoppable rivers of wealth. The science of money is not about sudden windfalls or lottery wins. It is about compounding habits that steadily move you upward until success becomes inevitable. Wealth also requires courage. Opportunities often appear disguised as risks. The stock market fluctuates, businesses fail, and investments carry uncertainty. The timid stay on the sidelines, clinging to safety, but in doing so, they guarantee mediocrity. The courageous study the facts, assess the risks, and take calculated action. They may fail, but in failing, they learn. And through learning, they grow wiser and wealthier. Every great fortune has been built on the willingness to step forward into uncertainty, armed with courage and preparation. Wealth, like health, is built on habits. Just as physical fitness results from repeated exercises, financial fitness results from repeated disciplines in managing, earning, saving, and investing money. And the truth is that small disciplines, done consistently, make a greater difference than occasional bursts of effort. Think of a person who decides to get in shape. If they go to the gym once for 5 hours, they will be exhausted, but they will not be transformed. If,
I'll be
however,
looking
they
to
go to the
add.
gym every day for 30 minutes, the
Check
compounding of
that out
those
now.
small actions will reshape their body, strengthen their endurance, and transform their health. The same is true of money. It is not about one giant leap. It is about 1,000 small, steady steps. One of the most important habits is the discipline of clarity about income. Most people drift financially because they do not know exactly how much they are worth per hour or per day. They work hard, but without measurement. The wealthy, on the other hand, calculate their time as their most precious resource. If you divide your annual income by the number of hours you work, you will see what each hour is worth. From that moment, you must treat each hour as sacred. If your time is worth $50 an hour, then every distraction, every wasted moment, every idle indulgence costs you $50. But if you use each hour to create value, to learn, to serve, or to improve, then you multiply your earning capacity. The law of focus states that whatever you focus on grows. If you focus on opportunities, they expand. If you focus on obstacles, they multiply. Wealthy people discipline their minds to focus on abundance, possibilities, and growth. They ask, how can I increase my income? How can I serve more people? Or how can I solve bigger problems? The average person, by contrast, often asks, why is life so hard? Why don't I get paid more? Why don't I catch a break? The quality of your questions determines the quality of your answers, and your answers determine your actions. Wealth begins in the mind, and the mind is guided by focus. A central part of this science is the law of cause and effect. Every result has a cause. If you're not earning what you want to earn, there is a cause. If you are burdened with debt, there is a cause. If your wealth is growing, there is also a cause. Instead of blaming or complaining, study the causes. Ask, what actions, habits, or beliefs are producing my current financial results? Then identify the new causes that will produce better results. By changing the causes, you change the effects. Consider the story of a salesperson who struggles year after year, earning only a modest income. He blames the economy, the competition, or the company. But then he studies the science of selling, learns new techniques, practices presentations, and invests in training. Within 2 years, his income triples. The cause was not the economy or the company, it was his skill level. By changing the cause, he changed the effect. The science of money demands that we look inward, not outward, to find the roots of wealth. Another principle is the law of service. Your rewards in life are in direct proportion to the value of your service to others. If you want to earn more, you must serve more people or serve people in better ways. A restaurant owner who serves 50 customers a day will earn a certain income. But if he improves his service, attracts 500 customers a day, or opens 5 restaurants, his income
Man,
multiplies.
what's up,
The
man?
measure of your wealth is directly linked to the measure of your service. This law reveals why the wealthiest individuals are often those who touch the lives of millions. Authors, inventors, business leaders,
But that's
entrepreneurs.
something I didn't
They
do.
find ways to scale their service. They create books, products, companies, or technologies that reach vast numbers of people. The greater the reach of their service, the greater the wealth that flows back to them. To grow your wealth, ask, how can I increase the quality or quantity of my service? How can I reach more people with what I offer? Hand in hand with service is the law of compensation. Life pays you exactly what you are worth in the marketplace. Not what you are worth as a person, for every human being has infinite value, but what you are worth in terms of your economic contribution. If you develop rare skills, if you become highly competent, if you deliver extraordinary value, you will be paid accordingly. If you do not, you will not. The market is neutral. It simply measures value and compensates it. The science of money demands that you continually increase your value so that your compensation rises. Now, an essential distinction must be made between active income and passive income. Active income is what you earn when you work. You trade your time, effort, and skills for money.
Good
Passive
morning.
income is what you earn whether you work or not, from investments, real estate, royalties, or businesses that run without your direct labor. The wealthy understand that active income alone can never create financial freedom. Time is limited, and so is energy. To become wealthy, you must convert active income into passive income. You must take the money you earn and invest it in assets that continue to generate income. This is why the wealthy see every dollar as a seed. They plant those seeds into investments, stocks, bonds, real estate, businesses, and those seeds grow into trees that bear fruit for years to come. The average person, however, eats the seed. They spend every dollar on consumption, cars, gadgets, entertainment. And at the end of the month, nothing
Run
remains.
SMT. Now let's
If you
run
wish
out.
to join the wealthy, you must begin planting seeds. Even small amounts
SPX didn't
invested
run out of flow.
consistently can grow into financial forests over time.
But we've got news
The law of
in about
accumulation explains
19
how this
minutes.
growth
So
happens. Every great fortune
as of
begins
now, we
with
just
small amounts saved and invested regularly.
put this trade in.
Just as drops of water create an ocean, so do small savings create great wealth. The
Remove
discipline
everything.
is simple but
But
powerful.
I honestly think they want to
Save
go
a
for this
fixed
equal highs
percentage of
over
your
here.
income no matter what. Even 10% set aside automatically will grow into a fortune over a lifetime. This law is often underestimated because it works slowly, but its power is undeniable. Most millionaires, studies reveal, did not inherit wealth. They built it slowly through disciplined saving, investing, and compounding. But here lies a hidden danger: debt. Debt is wealth in reverse. It is compounded poverty. Just as savings multiply into wealth, debts multiply into chains that grow heavier
Let's see
with
to keep
time.
pushing.
Every dollar of debt carries interest, and that interest compounds against you. The science of money demands that you treat debt as fire. Used carefully, in productive investments, it can
I
cook
want
your
to go break
meals and
even when they
water
run
you.
out this high.
Used carelessly, for consumption and indulgence, it can
We had a
burn your
premature
house
stop
down.
out, but
The
that's not
wealthy
now.
are
Yeah.
careful with debt. They use it sparingly, strategically, and always in ways that generate more income than the debt costs.
You know what? I'm gonna take house
Another
one
powerful
over here.
truth is that success requires association. You become like the people you spend the most time with. Your attitudes toward money, work, and wealth are shaped by the people around you. If you spend time with complainers, you will complain. If you spend time with dreamers who never act, you will dream but never act. If you spend time with achievers, investors, and builders, their mindset and habits will rub off on you. The science of money teaches us to choose our company wisely. If you want to be wealthy, spend time with people who are moving in that direction. Their example, conversations, and expectations will lift you upward. Wealth is not only the product of skills, habits, and persistence, it is also the result of mindset. At the core of financial success is the belief that you are capable of achieving it. Without belief, even the best strategies
Because we run
collapse
out
under
the PR
self-doubt.
high now.
The wealthy think
That's why.
differently about money. They see it as
Run out the
abundant,
DR high.
renewable, and accessible.
660.
They believe
So we don't
opportunities
equal
are
highs.
everywhere, and
That's
that
what
with learning and
like this
effort,
to go
they can seize those
towards the
opportunities.
news.
By contrast, many people carry mental blocks inherited from childhood. Perhaps they were told, money doesn't grow on trees, or we can't afford that, or rich people are selfish. These beliefs sink deep into the subconscious and form invisible ceilings. A person might consciously want wealth, but subconsciously believe they don't deserve it or that it's out of reach. The result is self-sabotage, procrastination, fear, hesitation. To master the science of money, you must identify and replace these limiting beliefs. Instead of saying, I can't afford it, train yourself to ask, how can I afford it? Instead of saying,
All
I'll
this to
never get
run, and
rich,
then I'll give Price
declare,
another try
I am
if we
learning
hit break
every
even.
day
That's
how
what
to
I'm gonna
grow
do for
wealthy.
today.
Your words shape your
See Price is
thoughts,
still pushing.
your thoughts shape your
I'm gonna be
actions,
looking
and
to
your actions shape your
maybe take
results.
the next one off at London High,
Affirmations, visualization,
or I'll
and
just
constant
leave everything
reminders of
for
your
and
financial
even
goals
for that.
reprogram the subconscious mind. Over time, these new beliefs take root, and you begin to act in ways that align with wealth. A crucial mindset is the attitude of abundance. Scarcity thinking says, if someone else wins, I lose. Abundance thinking says, there is more than enough for everyone. The wealthy know that opportunities are limitless, and they celebrate the success of others rather than resent it. Scarcity leads to jealousy, fear, and hoarding. Abundance leads to generosity, confidence, and growth. By adopting an abundant mindset, you place yourself in harmony with the flow of wealth. Another powerful mindset shift is to see problems as opportunities. Every fortune has been built on solving problems. When others complain about challenges, the wealthy ask, what solution can I provide? How can I turn this problem into value? Consider the rise of technology giants. They became wealthy by solving problems of communication, information, and convenience. Every problem you encounter in your daily life is a potential seed of wealth if you can solve it for others. Train your mind to look
I'm
at
gonna go in again.
difficulties as hidden opportunities for service, innovation, and growth. Along with mindset comes the law of preparation. Luck, as it is often called, is simply when preparation meets opportunity. Those who prepare themselves continuously through learning and growth are ready when opportunities appear. To the unprepared, opportunities seem invisible. To the prepared, they appear everywhere.
Try going too
If you are
early.
ready to seize them, life will deliver them. The
Ah,
wealthy, therefore,
no, I
prepare
always said I'll wait for this candle to
relentlessly,
close.
sharpening their skills, strengthening
Fuck.
their networks, and positioning themselves
I
so
always
that
said
when the
if I
door
gave break
opens,
even,
they
then I'll
can
always
walk
wait
through
for
it.
this candle, man.
Preparation also applies to money management. The discipline of budgeting is one of the most
So
powerful
good though.
yet neglected tools in wealth creation. Many resist budgeting, thinking it is restrictive, but in reality, budgeting is freedom. It gives you control over your money, ensures that you live within your means, and frees resources for saving and investing. Without a budget, money leaks away unnoticed. With a budget, every dollar has a purpose, and every purpose leads to progress. Imagine two people earning the same income. One spends without a plan and saves little. The other budgets carefully, saves consistently,
So
and
good.
invests wisely. After 10 years, the difference is astonishing. The spender has little to show, while the saver has built a foundation of wealth.
The difference was not income, but discipline. The science of money insists on order, and budgeting is the structure that keeps your wealth on course. Now let us turn to the principle of investing in yourself. Your mind is your greatest asset. The most valuable land in the world is not oil fields or gold mines. It is the space between your ears. What you feed into your mind determines your future. The wealthy read constantly, listen to audiobooks, attend seminars, and seek mentors. They spend money on self-improvement
Alright, I've
because
been
they
looking
know
for
that
sales
every
now.
dollar invested in their mind returns tenfold in income,
We've shifted
opportunity,
structure.
and success. Consider the example of an individual who earns $40,000 a year. If they do not upgrade their skills, they may continue at that level
I'm
for
gonna start selling
decades.
now.
But if they dedicate themselves to learning, mastering new skills, improving communication, studying leadership, or learning investment strategies, within a few years, their earning potential doubles, triples, or more. Knowledge compounds like money. Each book, course, and mentor adds layers of wisdom that multiply your results. This is why wealthy people have libraries while others have televisions. They trade idle entertainment for education. They trade distraction for focus. And as a result, they rise above the average, not because they are lucky, but because they are prepared. A further law in the science of money is the law of integrity. Wealth built on dishonesty is fragile. It may appear to prosper for a time, but it eventually collapses. The marketplace rewards trust, reputation, and reliability. Customers return to those they trust. Partners invest in those they trust. Opportunities flow to those with integrity. The wealthiest people protect their reputation as carefully as their fortune. They know that one act of dishonesty can destroy years of effort. Integrity is not only the right thing morally, it is also the smart thing financially. Alongside integrity is the law of generosity. Money is like blood. It must circulate to stay alive. When you give freely to charities, causes, or people in need, you create a flow that returns to you multiplied. Generosity releases fear and affirms abundance. The wealthy give because they know it does not diminish their fortune, it expands it. Each act of giving strengthens their own sense of wealth and opens the door for greater flow. This does not mean giving recklessly. It means giving strategically, joyfully, and consistently. Even when you have little, set aside a portion for giving. This discipline reinforces your belief that there is always enough, and it connects you to the universal law of circulation. In time, you will notice that generosity precedes prosperity, and that the more you give, the more flows back. Now let us explore the role of courage in wealth. Every step toward financial growth requires moving beyond fear. Fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of criticism. These fears paralyze the majority. But courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in spite of fear. The wealthy act even when they are uncertain. They know that mistakes are inevitable, but they also know that mistakes are teachers. Every failure contains a lesson that refines judgment and strengthens resilience. Without courage, you remain trapped in the safety of the familiar. But safety often hides danger. A job may feel secure, but without savings and investments, it is fragile. Inflation erodes wages, industries decline, and companies collapse. Real security comes not from avoiding risks, but from mastering them. The
This is
wealthy take
ridiculous,
calculated
man.
risks,
Oh, bro.
guided by knowledge and
Give me a break,
preparation.
man.
And this is why they rise while others stay stagnant. So wealth is not just numbers in a bank account. It is a state of mind, a state of discipline, and a state of being. It is built on beliefs, habits, service, courage, and gratitude.
Wealth is never an accident, and it is rarely sudden. What looks like overnight success from the outside is usually the result of years of preparation, steady growth, and quiet discipline. A tree may appear to burst into bloom in spring, but beneath the surface, its roots have been growing deep, season after season. So it is with wealth. The breakthroughs you see in public are built upon years of invisible effort in private. One of the invisible foundations of wealth is planning. The wealthy live by written plans. They map out their goals, break them into steps, and measure progress along the way. A plan is like a compass in a forest. Without it, you may wander endlessly, lost in distractions and detours. With it, you know which direction to move, even when obstacles appear. Planning transforms vague wishes into structured actions. It brings the future into the present and gives you a clear path forward. But plans alone are not enough. The wealthy pair planning with action and action with measurement. They do not just set a budget, they track it. They do not just declare a savings goal, they monitor their accounts. They do not just hope for growth in business, they review the numbers. What gets measured gets managed, and what gets managed improves. Money responds to attention. If you ignore it, it leaks away. If you monitor it, it grows. There is also a law of priorities. Not all actions are equal. Some produce 10 times, 100 times more results than others. The wealthy identify the few key actions that drive the most results and focus relentlessly on them. In business, these are the activities that generate revenue, attract customers, and build assets. In personal finance, these are the habits of saving, investing, and upgrading skills. By focusing on the vital few instead of the trivial many, you accelerate your progress.
Let's go 5 minutes
Consider the
to the thing
Pareto
on that.
principle, often called the 80-20 rule. 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. In money, this means that a small number of decisions, such as what career you choose, how you manage debt, and how early you start saving, determine most of your financial destiny. By focusing on the right 20%, you can transform your future. Another law in the science of money is the law of leverage. Wealth is not built by effort alone, but by multiplying effort through leverage. There are many forms of leverage: the leverage of people, systems, capital, and technology. For example, one person can only work so many hours, but if that person builds a team, their results multiply. If they design a system that works even when they sleep, their reach expands further. If they use capital, money working for them, they harness the power of compounding. And if they embrace technology, they extend their impact globally. The wealthy think in terms of leverage. They ask, how can I achieve more with less direct effort? How can I use resources to multiply results? Leverage is why a business owner often becomes wealthy while an employee, working just as hard, may not. The business owner leverages the work of many employees, the systems they design, and the capital they invest. The employee relies only on their own hours. To build wealth, you must think beyond individual effort. You must design structures, investments, and opportunities that multiply your impact. Another dimension of leverage is specialization. In a world overflowing with general knowledge, specialists command the highest rewards. A general doctor earns a respectable income, but a brain surgeon earns many times more. A general lawyer provides useful services, but a patent attorney specializing in intellectual property earns vastly more.
The more specialized your skills, the greater the leverage of your time. Specialization makes you rare, and rarity commands value. But specialization must be paired with adaptability. The world changes rapidly, and skills that were valuable yesterday may fade tomorrow. The wealthy are alert to change. They study trends, anticipate shifts, and adapt before others do. They are like surfers, watching the waves, positioning themselves early, and riding the crest when it comes. Those who cling to the past, resisting change, are left behind. Wealth requires the
Let's see what
courage
Brad
to
does, man.
pivot,
Honestly,
to
like,
learn new
just gotta wait
skills,
for
and
the
to
news now.
embrace innovation. Adaptability is
The
especially
reason why I'm
important in
doing
times of
this,
disruption. Economic recessions,
right now, Brad
technological
started,
revolutions, and global
and I'm still
crises
starting.
reshape the
Because it's
landscape of
equal high, so
opportunity.
like,
While many freeze in fear,
you're
the
dodgy right now.
wealthy look for openings. During downturns, assets are cheaper, competition weakens, and
I don't
new
think I want
needs
to
emerge.
allow price to
Those who
go
act
above
with
this
courage and
midpoint.
foresight in these times
So it's almost like
often
I'm stuck
create
up with that right
fortunes.
here at the same time.
The science of money teaches us
So
to
the
view
news, I'm gonna
crises
give them
not
some
as dead
bread.
ends, but as turning points, moments when new possibilities arise for those prepared to seize them. Alongside adaptability is the principle of resilience. Every financial journey encounters setbacks: a failed investment, a job loss, an unexpected expense. For some, these setbacks become permanent roadblocks. For the resilient, they become detours. Resilience means bouncing back stronger after setbacks. It means refusing to let temporary defeats define your destiny. The wealthy understand that failure is not the end, but a teacher. They ask, what can I learn? How can I improve? How can I rise higher because of this? With resilience, every loss becomes a seed of future gain. Wealth also demands emotional control. Money stirs powerful emotions: greed, fear, excitement,
Alright,
anxiety. These emotions, if uncontrolled, lead to poor decisions.
got news at
Many
10,
investors buy
9,
high in
8,
excitement and sell
7,
low in panic.
6,
Many
5,
consumers overspend
4,
when they are
3,
stressed or
1.
impulsive. Emotional discipline is therefore a cornerstone of financial success. The wealthy learn to master their emotions rather than be
Straight to my
mastered
topic.
by them. They make decisions based on logic, analysis, and long-term vision, not short-term moods. This emotional control extends to patience. Wealth grows slowly, like a tree, not instantly, like a firework. The impatient seek quick gains, gamble recklessly, or chase
Anything else in my
fads.
contract?
The patient invest consistently, wait through downturns, and allow compounding to work its magic. Patience turns time into an ally, while impatience turns it into an enemy. Every fortune has been built with patience, the willingness to delay gratification today for greater rewards tomorrow. And yet patience must not be confused with passivity. Wealth requires active participation, deliberate action, and the courage to seize opportunities when they arise. The balance is wisdom. Act boldly when the time is right. Wait calmly when the time is not. This balance of patience and decisiveness is what separates the wise investor from the reckless gambler.
Wealth is not only about accumulating money, but also about building a life of balance and harmony. Money without health leads to suffering.
I really want this
Money
part to
without
listen now, so just keep
relationships
jumping.
leads to loneliness. Money without purpose leads to emptiness. True wealth embraces all dimensions of life: financial, physical, emotional, and spiritual. The science of money reveals that the wealthiest individuals think in terms of the whole picture. They ask not only, how much money can I earn, but also, what kind of life am I creating? A person who sacrifices health for wealth may later spend that wealth trying to regain health. A person who sacrifices relationships for career success may later sit in luxury, but with no one to share it. Money should be a servant of life, not a master.
Find out the
It is
midpoint
meant
now,
to
so.
enhance freedom, joy, and contribution, not to consume them. To build this balance, you must first master time. Time is the currency of life, more precious than money. You can always earn more money, but you can never earn more time. The wealthy know this deeply. They guard their time fiercely, using it for what matters most. They delegate tasks that others can do. They automate processes. They eliminate distractions. They focus on activities that yield the highest return, whether in money, health, or happiness. Think of your time as an investment
Come on,
portfolio.
man.
Each hour is a unit of capital. You can spend it wastefully, or you can
Thank you.
invest it wisely. When you spend it on meaningless distractions, you get little return. When you invest it in learning, building, connecting, and creating, the
Now let's
returns
see what we get.
multiply across your lifetime. Wealthy people constantly ask, is this the best use of my time right now? That one question alone can double your productivity and transform your results. In the science of money, another vital truth
I don't know
emerges.
if you want to see the first
Environment
price all the way
matters.
down.
Your surroundings, both physical and mental, shape your destiny. If you live in clutter, your mind feels cluttered. If you live among negativity, your thoughts become negative. If you live among inspiration, discipline, and vision, you rise to meet them. The wealthy are intentional about their environments. They design spaces that encourage focus and creativity. They surround themselves with people who challenge them to grow. They choose communities, networks, and mentors that align with their goals. This extends to financial environment as well. If you keep your money in a place where it earns nothing, it stagnates. If you put it in an environment of growth, investments, assets, opportunities, it multiplies. Just as plants thrive in fertile soil, money thrives in fertile environments. Choosing the right environment for your finances is as important as choosing the right soil for a seed. Another principle of wealth is the law of anticipation. Wealthy individuals think long-term. They look not only at today's needs, but at tomorrow's possibilities.
They anticipate changes in markets, industries, and technologies. They prepare for downturns and position for upturns. They think in decades, not days. Most people live paycheck to paycheck, reacting to emergencies as they come. The wealthy live with foresight, creating buffers, reserves, and
Once you run
strategies
out this
that keep them
floor,
secure no matter what
start
storms
trolling and stuff.
arise. This foresight extends to planning for retirement, legacy, and the next generation. The wealthy do not wait until the end of life to think about retirement. They begin early, investing consistently, letting compounding work across decades. They do not wait until old age to consider legacy. They live with the awareness that wealth is not only for them, but for their children, their communities, and the world. The science of money encourages us to ask, what am I building that will outlast me?
Many fall into the trap of upgrading houses, cars, clothes, and luxuries every time income increases. But this is the treadmill of consumption. No matter how much they earn, they always spend it. The wealthy practice restraint. They increase lifestyle modestly while channeling most of their surplus into investments. They understand that wealth is not measured by what you spend, but by what you keep. This restraint requires emotional maturity. It means resisting the urge to impress others, to keep up with appearances, to indulge every desire.
Surround the Lord
The science of money reminds us that true status comes not from possessions, but from freedom. The freedom to live on your own terms, without debt, without dependency, without fear of financial collapse. That kind of freedom is worth far more than a new car or designer clothes. Another aspect of maturity is delayed gratification. Most people want instant results, quick money, fast success,
wasn't really
immediate pleasure.
but
But
we
wealth
were able
grows
to
for those
keep
willing
up
to
with it.
wait.
So,
Just as a farmer plants seeds in spring,
yeah.
tends them through summer, and harvests in autumn,
This is my next
so
trip.
must you plant financial seeds today and wait for their harvest in the future. Patience separates those who grow wealthy
We'll be
from
back
those who stay
tomorrow.
trapped in financial
Make sure you
struggle.
guys come.
The science of money also
It was
emphasizes creativity.
on top.
Wealth is
And
not
go.
only about following
Peace, y'all.
formulas, it is